in 1925, the Pottsville Maroons, which was basically a coal mining town up in Schuylkill County, had a very good team that played in the Anthracite League, all the old coal mining towns. And they joined the NFL in 1925. So Walter went to Connie Mack. Connie Mack had just announced that Walter was going to be a starting right fielder in 1926. So Walter had to approach him. This isn't analogous to what he went through in 1923. He needed to get Connie Mack's sign off. So he went and met with Connie Mack, and years later recalled that Mack initially said no, but Walter talked to him about how much money he could make. And I think Mack was a little surprised by that and said, "Okay, I can't deny you that, so you go ahead and play." So he played for the Maroons, and he did very well. He led the NFL in yards per carry. He scored 5 touchdowns in 9 games. Only a handful of people in the NFL scored more touchdowns than he did. He wasn't a featured back on the team. That was a guy named Tony Latone. And the style of play that the Maroons, it used in those days was kind of a straight ahead, no flash, kind of pound and ground, what we would, kind of thing. And they lost 1 game to Providence, because Providence just kind of geared up to stop the run, and they realized they needed some faster outside guys. And so Charlie Berry has a great end, and Walter French, provided that extra look that the Maroons needed. And they went on to win, 9. They ended up their season 9-2. Now, in those days in the NFL, there was no playoff games. There was just whichever team had the best record at the end of the year would be declared the champ. And also, the schedule was a little loosey-goosey compared to what it is today. So as long as you played a game prior to December 20th, it would count as a legitimate game in your standings. Whether or not it was on your schedule when the season began or not, that was immaterial. So at the end of the season, the Maroons and the Chicago Cardinals had essentially the same record. And the owner of the Cardinals contacted the owner of the Maroons and challenged him to a game that they said would decide once and for all, who's the champ. So it was almost like it became a playoff game, even though there was really no such thing. The game's played in Chicago at Comiskey Park. It's a freezing cold day. The Maroons go up there and beat them 21-7. And Walter French is the far and away the star of the game for the Maroons. The newspapers said French runs wild in win over the Cardinals. So he was really the big hero of the game.